This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed-sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault. A new series streaming now only on Peacock.
Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health, intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
For your post assignment, all units proceed to your post assignment.
All right. Welcome back.
MisFitNation. MisFitNation. The MisFitNation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation. It's your Sunday after dinner show. We're starting a little late due to technical difficulties, but we are here. We are here for you, and we thank you for joining us tonight. We know you have other things you could be doing, like maybe hanging out with your family or watching sports or whatever you do on a Sunday evening to wind down before you kick off this week or kick this week in the teeth so you can have a great week. We appreciate you being here with the Misfit Nation and collecting your frequent flyer miles. So thank you. Before we start tonight, we do have somber news out of New Jersey. Police officer Brian Baker, Livingston Police Department, Livingston, New Jersey, end of watch November 15th, 2025. Please keep his friends, his family, his peers, and the whole Livingston community in your thoughts and prayers, as he was an officer there for about 12 years as they go through this sudden change. We know every day they get up and they put their boots on, their shoes, their uniforms. They know, their families know there's danger. They don't wish this upon anybody. So let's just keep them in your thoughts and prayers as they go through this tough time. This weekend, the Misfit Nation was in Athens, Georgia. We covered the UGA versus Texas game in the SEC battle. Georgia, they kept it tight until the fourth quarter, and then Georgia put the foot on the pedal of the gas, and they stomped the life out of Texas. Touchdown, onside kick, recovered by Georgia, and the gas was just done. 21-point surge right there, killed it, and the Bulldogs took away the victory. So whatever side you were on, you got to see a great game and a good SEC battle. And the new rankings will come out Tuesday night, and the Fighting Irish will probably be in 9th place this week as we move up through college football playoffs. Tonight, we have a great guest. We are honored to welcome a true pioneer in the fight against trauma. Dr. Eugene Lipov, for nearly 2 decades, has been at the forefront of redefining how we understand and treat post-traumatic stress. His groundbreaking work with the Stellate Ganglion Block and the Dual Sympathetic Reset has changed countless lives, offering real relief and renewed hope to veterans, first responders, survivors, and families around the world. He has testified before Congress, been featured in major national media outlets, and continues to push the limits of what modern medicine can do to restore the human spirit. This is something you don't want to miss. So without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Eugene Lipov to the Misfit Nation. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, sir.
I'm saying your last name.
I love your promo before I got to watch that. That is that's beautiful. Beautifully done.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Apologize for confusion with the link. I'm glad we're able to get this thing going.
My fault. We figured it out. That's what counts, right?
Yes, sir.
Needful. Figure it out.
That's right. If you don't mind, Doctor, I gave the elevator pitch speech about you right there. Give the Misfit Nation a little bit more about you to how we got here.
Fair enough. Well, so let me give you more of a. There are a few things. So my last name is pronounced Lipov, 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 and it's Stellate Ganglion Block, which is an injection in the neck that's been around since 1925. Dual Sympathetic Reset is 2 levels in the neck. So I just wanted to get the pronunciation better. So let me tell you how I got in here and why do I even care, right? A lot of people just go, why are you interested in, why are you involved? So my father was a flyer in World War II. So he used to drop bombs on German ships, and ships like to knock the planes out of the air. Out of 10,000 people that started the war with him, 100 made it home. So he came back in a pretty bad shape, and he gave PTSD to my mother, who took her life when I was an intern in surgery. So that's why I'm interested in military. I'm interested in suicide prevention. I'm interested in families. And I've had absolute honor to be able to treat a lot of SOF. And I know you guys work with a lot of SOF. So I came up with a treatment actually called SOF method that acknowledges the TBI or BTBI that the guys go through from training and the breaching and all the other entertainment that happens. So the idea is to fix BTBI, TBI, and PTSD at the same time, and it's possible to do. And that actually, I'm trying to get people to get it in Canada and United States to use that method. It's finally being studied now in Bragg.
Nice. I know on the SOF side of it, we have breacher syndrome, I think they call it, for a lot of them guys there. All the blasts they go through and all the things they go through, not just the blast, all the things they go through, not just their training, but in the real world aspects of it. And then it trickles down into the conventional forces as well, as everyone kind of compiles all this data inside their bodies of things that have gone wrong, but they don't know what's going on with them after they stop. And that's where something like you comes in to maybe turn that screw and maybe help them out.
Sure. So if you look at the numbers are pretty grim. The suicide numbers, as you were talking about, there seem to be debate. Is it 20, 24? I've heard numbers as high as 40 per day. There was a statistic that came out in the United States that every 11 minutes somebody killed themselves, not just military. I mean, that's just sad. Yes. And teenagers are spiking, preteens are spiking in suicides, and that's very frightening. But as far as specifically military, I've studied that in a decent amount of detail. 1/3 of the people that came back from Iraq had IED explosion near the vehicles. So about 1/3 of the people have BTBI, which is blast traumatic brain injury. That's better. That's different, not better. It's different than being hit in the head with a stick, right? So if you get hit in the head in the stick, you have the brain goes forward and goes backwards. It's called counter-coup injury. If you have an explosion, the whole brain is shaken. And the reason I found this out, I was doing SOF experience, and we were blowing down doors with cord. So I told my instructor, I said, hey, my head is woozy. He said, you're such a wuss. It's called eating a charge. We use C4. This is just gunpowder. That's garbage. That's nothing. I was like, well, I don't know about nothing, but, my head is woozy. So I came up with a treatment for that, which is it's ketamine and stellate, the stuff I've been working on for 18 years. And it seems to work really well. I published on that. I treated first-year operators from Canada, actually, and we had some pretty amazing results.
And amongst them, was ketamine acceptable amongst the Canadian military? Was ketamine an acceptable treatment, or was that just experimental when you went up there and now it's accepted?
Well, SOF Command for Canada and I are not friends, so but they all flew to see me.
Okay.
Right. So I got to tell you, so one of the guys who connected me was SOF in Canada, and I was about to publish a paper. They dragged the man in front of the command, and they go, what are you doing publishing in this? He goes, I'm not medical. What are you talking about? I don't understand why you give me grief. But I got the best thing that I have done that I'm totally, because I lost my mother, as I said in the beginning of the show. So when we do the guys, typically it's the men, and it's called secondary PTSD, and the guys come back. So everybody goes to war, not just the people who are deployed, right? The family goes to war, and family is injured. So when I treat them, we have a room in my office in Westmont, Illinois, which is next to Chicago. So the last couple of ketamines we do, the couples hold their hands together as we do the infusion of ketamine. It's just amazing. But as far as, ketamine or medical system in Canada, it's challenging. SOF, people in Canada are definitely not they're like, I'm a persona non grata there for sure. That they're not fans of me. But the guys are, but command, not so much.
kind of like oil and water. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. All I wanted is to take care of the people. I mean, it's not like I don't know anything about SOF. I've never met anybody in upper echelons in SOF Canada. I've met a number of SOF upper echelons in US, and we get along well. I assumed it would be the same in Canada. Oh no, totally different story.
Now on our side of the border, have you worked with the other doctors within the military medicine to get this moving forward to maybe help our brothers and sisters, or is it still like that?
No, it's 100%. So let's go back for a second. So
Okay.
SOF method is relatively new. I only started doing it about 3 years ago.
Okay.
For about 18 years, I've been doing Stellate Ganglion Block, then it became Dual Sympathetic Reset. So Fort Bragg has done probably about 5,000, maybe 7,000 guys currently. I gave grand rounds of Fort Bragg. I mean, I'm still a United States citizen, so I'd like to help the guys here. So I have close relationship in Bragg. There was a study done in Bragg, Lenchheim, Germany, and Tripler Hospital on this procedure. Oh no, there's a lot of guys have been saved by suicide, not just by me doing it. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are doing it now. Walter Reed has been doing it, Bragg, Lenchheim. It's like, oh no, it's definitely being done right now. And the great thing from my perspective, is that, it's kind of fun to be able to come up with something new in medicine. It's not that simple to do. But the amount of lives that have been saved by this, people, I get cards and emails that they have their husbands back, they have their wives back. It's not as tense. And some people who are suicidal, unfortunately, a number of them have been saved from suicide by doing this procedure. The first time that was published actually was not by me. It was a guy in Tripler Hospital, Dr. Alino. It was 2013. So, it has helped a lot of people. The great thing about Stellate, it works rapidly, 5-10 minutes, right? You don't have to wait. It doesn't make you sick. The compliance is very high, and that's the key. If you feel terrible and you feel like you're about to want to kill yourself, if you have a treatment that works rapidly, that's the key. That's the time to do it.
And we already got a question from the audience as we're talking about the SGB, Stellate Ganglion Block. It's from Melody and Lion, I think. Melody and Lon. Dr. Lipov, what first inspired you to explore SGB as a trauma treatment rather than just a pain procedure? Thank you, Melody.
Thank you, Melody. Tremendous question. So what happened was I've been a pain doc for years. And the first time I did Stellate was 1987. So I had a patient that had severe hot flashes, a woman. And she had my brother, who's a really smart doctor, tried to treat her, couldn't take care of the hot flashes. So he said, do a procedure for hot flashes. It'll make the hot flashes go away because you do this procedure for hand sweats. It should work for hot flashes. I told him that's stupid. Nobody's done it. He said, well, anyway, I did it. It worked well. We got great response. And then Chicago Tribune basically attacked me. They said, yes, it works, but you don't know how it works. When I was trying to figure out why it works for hot flashes, I came across a paper from Finland where they were doing clipping in the chest to take away hand sweats. And they found PTSD went away. And then I looked at the anatomy. It turns out chest nerves and neck nerves go to the brain. And then I called up my brother and I said, send me a PTSD patient. Let's see if he can help him. We did that in 2006. I published 2008. And the reason I've been advocating so much, A, the results are great, and B, I don't want the same thing that happened to my mother to happen to other people.
Definitely. If you can, the more you can help, the better for our whole community and better for everybody. It's not just military that goes through trauma.
No, absolutely. First responders. I've treated a lot of first responders. I used to be a trauma surgeon. So I got to see a lot of pretty nasty things you can imagine. I was a county trauma guy. I got to see some bad stuff. So first responders, we didn't treat them. It's like, I love the police, first responders, those guys. Without them, I think the amount of people who don't understand what they do, and when you really need them, you want them there. Please be nice to them. It's a new concept.
crazy. I like to tell people here that military, we go to war, we come back. Police, fire department, emergency services, they're on all the time. They can't turn it off, and they never meet someone on their best day. They always meet someone on their worst day.
Yeah. And then they bring him over, right, to stop a fire and start shooting at them. Who the hell? It's like, what? Why would you do this?
What world is that normal? But they do it. You're right, and that's another thing they have to deal with, and builds in that trauma. Has there been any, I guess, mass cases like that where someone has gone through multiple different things, multiple different traumas, and the EMDR didn't work, or anything like that didn't work, and your procedure started to work great and kind of helped them ease out of it?
Yeah, let me tell one of my favorite stories, actually. There are a couple of, most of the time in medicine, the worse the condition, the harder it is to treat, right? So it turns out the worse the PTSD, the better Stellate works, which is crazy, right? So let me give you a story of a guy. He was in Vietnam. He was 19. It's a few years ago, right? So he came to see me 50 years later.
Wow.
He's been in and out of drug abuse, all of that stuff. His family was destroyed, all of this. So we did one procedure on him. This was about, I think, 8 years ago. He cried like a baby for about an hour and a half. So I was like, my God, I broke this guy. So he said, hey, I got my emotion back. I have not felt an emotion for 50 years. 3 years later, we were having, if you want to see it, I have a YouTube video of him talking about it. We were doing a fundraiser in New York City. And so he talked about his experience. He said, I got my family back, all this. So then 2 of his sons came over and they said, we got our father back. Thank you so much. I almost lost it personally. I mean, it's like, I was like, that was overwhelming amount of like, the gratitude was amazing, but it was so much to see how to affect the family. And, every time I do this, I feel like my mother gives me a pat in the back. It's like, hey, you've done something good with something that I gave you. It was not so good.
You're helping someone where she wasn't able to get help at that time.
Right. If I would have known what I know now, I think she'd be alive.
Or something else. I mean, something else might happen, but this wouldn't have taken her out. And that's
right.
That's an amazing thing that you're able to do. And I mean, he's 69 years old when you're able to finally to help him, 69-ish, and help him and get his family back together at that late in his life. And his boys are probably 50 years old as well. Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's like, that is a complete joy for me. I was like, for a physician to be able to do something that has this kind of impact, I think it's just unbelievable.
That's the thing you look for. It's the spotlight. You got to see what I'm doing is working. And now I can maybe go out and help 2 more people tomorrow and 2 more the next day, and see more people find that joy that they used to have, or actually have emotion and not just be stoic all the time. And no matter what's going on, they're just stoic.
How about even simpler, just having a life?
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, you're going a little too complicated. I'm really basic, right? Getting some sleep, being able to have sex, not being overreactive to stimuli, and not being hypervigilant. Oh my God, how crazy is that?
Look into a restaurant and not have to sit with your back to the wall.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You don't have to shove yourself in the corner so you see everything.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, you got it.
Be able to go out anywhere, like movie theater, concert, and be comfortable and actually enjoy the moment instead of watching everyone around you instead of what you're there for. Yeah, definitely. Yes, I could see that helping.
That's exactly right.
And when you go to like brag and stuff, do you get to sit down with maybe a team or a group of guys, or guys and girls that just want to know about this and talk to them about it, and then maybe treat some of them?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, in medicine, it doesn't work like that. You need to have a license. You need this. But fortunately, in Bragg, I knew the guy who was doing the procedures there, so I did go down and work with the people who did that. But by this point, in special forces, at least most people I run into have heard of it, most other people, like police, even though I give lectures to police quite often, people just go, why haven't I ever heard of this? It just drives me crazy that it still is not really known. I've been talking about it. I've been on national news. I've been on this. So hopefully part of the reason we're talking today, you can spread the word. I have a new book coming out talking about it. It's called The God Shot.
That's what I was going to ask you about, the God Shot. That was my next question. Because that comes out just next year, right? I think February?
February 17th. So let me tell you, I'm really proud of the book for two reasons. One, let me tell you the name, where it came from. It was a Marine that I treated, and he said, the guys in my unit called Stellate Ganglion Block the God Shot because it changes lives. And I thought, what an amazing name for a book.
It's beautiful.
And it's a book of hope, that it's possible to get better. It's a biological condition. It's not some weakness. There's no stigma. And we'll get into that in a second, hopefully. But it's a real condition that is treatable. It's real. It's like a lot of people second guess themselves. I'm a wuss. I can snap out of it. Can you snap out of a broken leg? Not so good, I would say. Same thing here. Mental conditions are real physiological conditions. People talk about, they're talking about invisible wounds. That's a complete bullshit, because nowadays we have scanners. You can actually see PTSD in the brain. It's real. It exists, right? You just have the wrong scanner. If you have the wrong scanner, if you guys your eyes closed, you're not going to see the fracture. But if you have an X-ray, you can see the fracture. Same thing here. You had an FMR, functional MRI, poof, you can see it.
Wow. I didn't even know that. You can see the PTS in there. I know the TBI, obviously, you can see. But no one's ever even said that. Even all the experts that have come on here have never said that. So
That's what makes me crazy.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing TEDx about it in Mexico in January. It's crazy. It should be. It's so obvious. It has been published since 1984. It is crazy. People don't talk about it. Not enough.
Wow. Yeah. You just blew my mind when you said you can get imaging on it. Now I'm going to ask if I can do it, see where mine is. Maybe get that taken, see how messed up I am up there. But I know a lot of our audience, a lot of them are first responders and military, of course. But there's also people out there that just had childhood traumas and things, or other kinds of traumas that never heard of anything we're talking about tonight. And I think this is opening eyes. Just you open mine, obviously. And I'd like you to go a little deeper into what, just like you just said, let's go a little deeper into the science of the PTS and how
let's talk about so the term PTSD, or let's start PTSD if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So first of all, the first time it was the term to describe the condition of PTSD-like symptoms was the Romans 2,000 years ago. It was called the tremble. People like jumping. In the modern era, it was called the soldier's heart during Civil War. Right? So then it was battle fatigue was World War II. Shell shock was World War I. Vietnam syndrome was Vietnam. In Russia, it was called Chechnya syndrome. Interestingly enough, the symptoms are the same: suicides, depression, all of that, right? So the current term PTSD started in 1980. So one of the guys who started that term was Frank Egbert, very famous psychiatrist. He came up with the term Stockholm syndrome. I don't know if you've heard that term. I assume you have. Common. Anyway, so in 2012, he decided that the name needs to be changed to PTSI, post-traumatic stress injury, not post-traumatic disorder, because disorder is like, who the hell knows what it is. Injury means there is a biological change. So he connected with Pete Shirelli. I don't know if you know that name. Four-star general, Army general. He was in charge of suicide prevention in 2012. So Frank and Pete went to APA, American Psychiatric Station, and they said, let's change the name to PTSI because my guys are killing themselves and they're asking to make it more appropriate. And I said, no. So Frank now is 87, so he's gotten a little older. So he handed this potato over to me. And then, so I did a study in 2023. I asked 3,000 people, if you change the name to PTSI from PTSD, what would happen? 3 things. Number 1, reduction of stigma. Number 2, hope. Number 3, they would seek care more readily because they don't feel stigmatized, right? So in 2024, I went to the APA, and in order to change the name, you need to demonstrate that current name causes harm. So I wrote the whole thing, I sent it, and they go, nah, not enough data. So one thing would be amazing if you can do for me and for your audience and for you is I have a website, it's called itsptsi.com. So if people can go on it and fill out the form, I'm trying to do a big survey. I want to do 10,000, 100,000, maybe 1 million people to fill it out. And I'll take the APA and maybe they'll be kind enough to change it to save lives. That'd be really nice.
Definitely that'd be awesome, actually. Make sure I get the right link in there. It's PTSI.
It's PTSI.com. Yes, sir.
Save a life.
And then you could see interview with Pete Shirelli if you'd like. I mean, if you're military, you could see my interview on the news, all of that. Everything relevant to that is in that one website.
Awesome.
But it makes so much sense, right? Because it's real.
Yes.
Because mental health, people don't understand that it's a real biological condition. And then that's what causes a lot of issues. If people look at it as a real biological condition, they should expect better therapeutic outcomes. Current therapeutic outcomes, you probably know, are not so great.
No.
Like gold standard therapy, psychotherapy, and pharmaceuticals together, you're looking at 40% success rate, maybe. And there was an expert say, I think it was in New York Times, that people take about 7 to 8 different drugs for PTSD. None of them work. So why we keep doing things that don't work? Expensive, and the other part is one of the most commonly used drugs in VA is called atypical antipsychotic. It's a class of drugs. Turns out if you don't take it regularly, it increases chance of suicide by a factor of 3.
Wow.
So why would you keep doing that? I don't get it.
Wow. You're creating more of a problem.
Exactly. We already have enough of a problem. We don't need to have more of a problem.
Don't have to exasperate it. You don't get a trophy for making it worse.
No, exactly. It's like, so maybe I think Stellate needs to be utilized a lot more. In fact, there was 3 bills in Congress trying to pass that, to trying to have Stellate available for everybody who wanted it in armed forces and their spouses. It has never passed.
Never passed.
Nope.
When was the first year it was brought up there?
6 years ago.
6 years. So,
yeah. It's been an orphan forever. And I know as a nation, we have a very entertaining Congress and Senate.
Yes.
But still, come on. Those guys were out there. They were giving orders. They were out in Iraq. They were out in Afghanistan. Can we just help them? That'd be lovely. What a new concept.
Yeah. Just thank them for their service on November 11th of the year.
Yeah. Thank you for service once a year. But what happens to people who are dying during the other times?
Right. We lose so many because we're doing things with the antipsychotic trial drugs. Like for me, when I first went to the VA, they just handed me they didn't even look at me. They looked at the computer and then told me what was wrong with me. Then mailed me a bunch of drugs saying you'll be all right. And I didn't take them because there was so many that they sent me. I broke
exactly. It's interesting that most of those drugs, antipsychotics, the women in lives of soldiers, male soldiers, they toss them away because it makes the guys. Let me tell you what it does. Besides the suicide, it has other great things. It makes you fat, makes you stupid, makes you aggressive, makes you impotent, gives you diabetes. Great choice. Yeah. So you're smart. You didn't take them.
I gave all mine to the police station. So
okay. Hopefully they didn't take them either.
I had no idea they didn't tell me what they were or what they were for, so I'm not taking all these. There's no way.
No, it makes no sense, right?
And that's what they were doing for a long time. Hopefully now that was in 2015. Hopefully they've turned the corner and maybe they're actually looking at people when they prescribe stuff to them, and talking to them and not just check the blocks. Yeah, half.
Shmaybe is my answer to you. Shmaybe.
So just I know it's not 100% still. So we're
no.
Still,
I mean, there are VAs who are starting to do stellates. Like there is one in Chicago, Heinz. There is a doctor there who does it, which is great. I mean, it's like I think all the military personnel should have access to it, no question asked, and so should their spouses. I also like treating the children.
It's a lot of times the children, like my wife, her dad he was a Marine in Vietnam. And all his kids, because when he came home, he's never got help ever. But he was part of that generation that if you get help, you're weak or
you're weak, right?
Something's wrong with you. So take it out on everyone else around you. So all the different stages of the trauma from what happened to them along the way, and that they're not alone. There's tons of Vietnam veteran families like that, just like the one you were able to save that you talked about earlier. And 50 years he waited and finally got his life back, got his family back, got his boys back, and now they can probably sit down and have a good conversation, have a good dinner.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Well, let me tell you another thing that's kind of crazy. I don't know. Have you heard the term epigenetics?
No, I was just looking at that on your site. I was about to ask you that question.
Yeah, let me tell you what that is. Epigenetics is basically, when I was in medical school, and I have a genetics degree, the only way to change DNA is to have a mutation. Turns out, being exposed to trauma can change the DNA like that. It can activate certain DNA alleles and whatever. Anyway, so the guy who had trauma from NAM, that can get transmitted through DNA 2 or 3 generations. Isn't that crazy? So if you don't treat it, it goes down. So you're much more likely to develop PTSD. Then you go, where did that come from? Well, that was NAM trauma. But now you're looking at 90s. It's like, I was never in Vietnam, but your DNA has been. Hello, right? Isn't that interesting?
You barely read about Vietnam now in schools. And it comes from Vietnam. Wow.
So it's multi-generational trauma transmitted through the DNA. Besides the abuse, besides being cranky, besides all of that, I'm talking about actual physical. It's measurable DNA change 2-3 generations. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. I mean, you're shocking me here tonight, so this is good. I usually get the same. I guess I want to say
same
story from every person. That just little tweaks here and there. But just you're actually going above and beyond and sharing a lot of things that the audience has never heard before, or if they have, they didn't hear it on my show. So thank you. Thank you for
my pleasure. I mean, the whole thing is education, right? So to me, it's education. So if you feel like, it's like his father had horrible life experiences from Ukraine. He gave to my father. He went through horrible war, World War II, So my DNA was already revved up. So now add in my mother's death. I mean, I didn't have a chance, right? Yes. But I got treated. I pulled my shit out of it. And I really feel so much better. But the other thing is to think about it. I mean, it's like I'm into biology and what does it do to the body, right? So it turns out somebody has PTSD and don't treat it, the chance of heart attack is twice as high.
Wow.
Right? 85% of guys with PTSD have sexual dysfunction. Stellate treats that. Right? People that, you don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. But, the way I explained to the guys, if you're riding from the tiger, you want nothing sticking out. Right?
That's right.
So when there was a story I've read about a guy with 35 years old, stepped in the mine, IED, almost took his leg off, blah, blah, blah. Had the stellate, said, I like PTSD, got better, blah, 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 blah. But the best part about the stellate, I'm able to get laid again. I'm 35. I should be able to have all the equipment working.
Yes.
I wrote a chapter on that. The whole point, though, is, it's like people like doubting themselves, then the women don't really like that, right? For multiple reasons, like, I'm not good enough, whatever. All type of crazy shit starts to happen.
Right.
So, but the point is, it's just basic physiology. If everybody looks at PTSD like a broken leg, you identify it, you treat it, and you're done, and you're moving on. That's what it should be like.
Yes. shouldn't be on these little baggies of drugs for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's not a lifestyle. The whole thing, I always tell people, it's like PTSD is not a lifestyle. Expect more. Definitely. Be done with that, right? Be treated and move on. Get off the meds, move on. And then, that my other favorite, I'm sorry, I'm in a soapbox, but, it's kind of, this is my big thing. So alcohol, right? The guys drink like fishes, blah, blah, blah. It's alcohol abuse disorder, blah, 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 blah. So let me give you a real example. So I took care of a SEAL lieutenant. He was drinking a liter of vodka a day. Wow. Quite the man. 10 years. That's a lot of vodka. I'm surprised he was still alive personally, but whatever. We do the block. He stops drinking like that.
Wow.
And he was fine. The point is, people drink to take their trouble for a swim, but you can't drown them. It's a symptom of PTSD or PTSI. So treat the PTSD. You're not going to need to drink like a fish.
Wow. Listen to that information. Yeah, I've got another question just came in from
Sure.
Muddy Boots. Muddy Boots 4. How does SGB work neurologically to reduce trauma symptoms so quickly? Thank you.
Excellent question. Well, first of all, let me tell you what PTSD is. So when somebody has trauma, being military trauma, sexual trauma, whatever, terrorist trauma, doesn't matter. Trauma activates fight and flight system, right? Everybody knows, like, your heart beeps faster, you're breathing faster, blah, 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 blah. So two things happen. One, norepinephrine is secreted. Norepinephrine is a transmitter that's the brother of adrenaline, right? So it gets you revved up. But also, the body produces something called BNGF, which is brain nerve growth factor. So it goes from the brain to stellate, which is here. Once it hits it makes new nerve growth. So let's say usually there are 4 fight and flight nerves in the brain. So when the NGF goes down to here, now you got 8. Each one of them produces norepinephrine. So if you take the fluid around the brain from a soldier with PTSD or a Marine or whoever, their norepinephrine levels will be twice as high as normal. So we know that happens in the real world. So that's what can persist for years. So this extra nerves produces more norepinephrine. When I do the block, 2 things happen. Number one, norepinephrine level drops like a stone. In about 5 to 10 minutes, it gets back to normal. So people feel so much better. They can take a deep breath. They go, my feeling of doom that I'm about to die is gone. 5-10 minutes, like that.
Wow. And
it also reduces BNGF. The BNGF is needed to maintain the extra nerves. So in about probably 10 to 12 days, the extra nerves that grew went away. So that block, the longest outlier right now is 18 years from a guy who had 2 blocks 18 years ago. But to give you a direct answer why it works so fast, norepinephrine level drops so fast.
Wow. See, mind blowing. That's good. Good information.
Something new, right?
Yeah.
It's good to have something new.
Yeah, it's good to fill like we like to call here, fill the rucksack with information and tools to help us get through, and maybe help us help ourselves and help our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, because when you go talk to your clinicians, you go, "How about Stellate Ganglion Block?" I go, "No, I don't think so." It's like, why not? I don't think so. Well, why not? How many people have been treated? 15,000 SOF. Why not me? Why not my wife?
Why not me?
Well, we don't have the resources. Well, that's a different question, right? Then it becomes a very different question. You have the time to give me all the pills, but you cannot figure out how to get the Stellate for me. That's a problem.
It tells me someone else is involved. No one's telling you what you're supposed to do.
I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
I'm just on the side of the camera, and I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry.
I know. I hear you. I hear you, brother.
It just seems weird or normal to them to do this and to check the block medicine. And I was just thinking while you were talking about that, and then you just brought it up. Why can't I just go to my VA doc and say, "Hey, I wanted to try SGB and see if that works for me so I can get off everything.
So I was on the podcast yesterday, and what they were saying is that if your VA says no, it just means one VA said no. Each VA is a different animal. That each one of them is totally different. And you as a person in the military, you were trained not to give up, right? So if you find the focus and figure it out, there's a lot of VAs who do offer SGBs. I bet you could figure it out. If not, if you're lucky enough to have kept the bride, she will figure it out for you.
She'll definitely make sure I figure it out.
But read about it. I mean, it's not just me doing it, right? There's a lot of people who have followed my work. It is absolute honor to see it. And then just remember that the spouses are also traumatized.
Yes.
You know, when I was in Bragg and I said, why don't you guys treat the spouses also? They go, we don't have the resources. Like, get the resources.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you need to do that. You need to help the people who are suffering. And it's not just the guys.
Right.
You break them, help them come back.
We were talking about this the other day, about coming home, and all of a sudden, I was had my former brigade commander on here, and he said, I didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night and be beating my wife. All the things I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
He started to get help, and that's the brigade commander doing that. And it was great to hear him say that, because a lot of our former soldiers were listening. Saying, well, if the boss is getting help, it's all right for me.
I totally agree with you. I think there was a one-star general. I think he was a Marine general. He had the Stellate Ganglion Block 10 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, the point is, it doesn't matter. If you're a 4-star general, if you go through horrible stuff, you got to see horrible stuff, it affects you.
Yes.
Now, not everybody develops PTSD. Some people do, some people don't, but I don't know. My point is, try something different. You've tried the meds, you've tried the psychotherapy, try something different. And it's possible. The cool thing is, what I'm trying to do is bring a message of hope. It's possible to get better. You don't have to live in misery. You don't have to be impotent. More ways than one. Shumpum, right? You can have a comfortable life where people have a normal interaction. And that's what you should go for. It's not an unattainable goal. It's attainable.
Yes. It's hopefully a MisFitNation, you're listening tonight. And if you think those barriers are up for you, do what Doc just said. If that first VA says no, ask to talk to a different VA.
Yeah, exactly. Look somewhere else.
Yeah. Don't take no for an answer.
Well, it's your mental health, right? Mental health is as or more important than physical health. Like if you had cancer and this VA didn't offer this treatment, you're not going to go, well, okay, it's time for me to go, time for me to die. No, you'll go somewhere else that have a different treatment. What's the difference in mental health? Same thing.
Find the thing that works best for you, and don't accept no.
And do your own research. See what works, see what didn't work. And, you know, it's like Stellate fails. I mean, we have 20% failure rate. No question about it. No question. But if you had BTBI or TBI, you know, I've taken care of a bunch of snipers. They use 50 cal guns. The amount of TBI those guys, BTBI from that is a lot. Or those Gustav rockets, you're supposed to only fire 3 in your training. Most people I've met, 200, 400. That's a lot of BTBI.
Especially in that community, they actually train a lot, and they use a lot so they get used to it. Repetition.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest of the conventional force, maybe they'll do that number, that 3 practice rounds, and that's it.
But not special forces. No.
Nuts.
And breaching, I mean, that's another story altogether, right? We can talk about breaching. Talk about breaching and the effect on the brain. It's like, you know, those guys are really tough, really smart guys. And we were able to help a lot of them. I mean, we do help it. Unfortunately, you know, the insurance doesn't cover it. I mean, it's like so if you have, by the way, I am a chief science officer for Erase PTSD Now, which is our non-for-profit. You can see what our focus is, right? Erase PTSD Now. It's pretty hard to figure out what we do. If you know people who may want to donate to us so we can treat more veterans, do more studies, and do all those kind of things, we would absolutely love that. We would love any support, because there is never enough support. There's enough people out there who need the treatments. So if people can come from Canada to see me, I think you can have people come from the United States to see me as well. We've treated quite a few SOF guys, but I like to treat more, especially considering what happened to my family. I love treating the families, right? I like the guys, the women, and the children. People forget the kids. They think, oh, no, they're 10 years old. No, how can they have PTSD? Bullshit. They get PTSD just like the soldiers or Marine men and, of course, others.
They're good. They're young. They can grow out of it. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah. They grow out real good. That's when they get drugs and all the other stuff. If you don't stop at 10, at 20, you're going to have a much bigger problem. Right? Then they get alcohol, drugs, sniffing glue, whatever. It's all bad. Sex addiction, whatever. Tinder, whatever goes on nowadays. I don't know.
That's outstanding. Yeah, one last question from the audience here before we start to wrap up here. This is from Fearmonger. What are the biggest barriers preventing a wider adoption of SGB and DSR across the VA and civilian healthcare systems? Thank you, Fearmonger.
I love the name.
We get some good ones here.
Yeah, it's a good one. I love it. Well, the direct answer to that is it's weird. So it's not a typical approach, right? So there is a huge study being done in NYU. There was a couple of amazing donors that gave us a significant amount of money to do the right study, which is functional MRI, look inside the brain, and demonstrate that the injection actually does something. So keep in mind, this is a disruptive technology, the pharmaceutical industry and psychiatric industry. So you can read between the lines what I think would be the prevention of what prevents it. And there is not enough information, there's not enough this. So far, I would bet about 25,000 people have been treated with this procedure, which is a pretty decent amount. The results have been significant. And the good thing about it, it's very rapid. It works very rapidly. Compliance is 100%. If somebody comes in, they get a needle in the neck, right? As opposed to try to take tablets on time for a year. That's not easy. So there is a scientific debate about it. I gave presentations at the American Psychiatric Association 4 times. There was a study done that showed that it was twice as good as placebo in Tripler, Bragg, and Lynchheim. That was published in 2019, and the Army looked and they go, that's nice, goodbye. They paid for the freaking study. Like, oh, that's great. Okay, bye. We don't want to look at it. It's like, what? I think the fearmonger can kind of figure out what I'm trying to say.
I think Fearmonger has it with that name. He definitely has it. So, Dr. Lipov, it's been great talking to you, chatting with you here tonight.
Thank you.
Information with us. We have your book coming out soon, February 17th, 2026.
Thank you.
The God Shot, and that'll be on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere, anywhere books are sold, I'm guessing.
So if you go to my website, thegodshotbook.com, you can pre-order it if you like.
I see that.
And Rich, if you don't mind, I'd like to invite you to my podcast. It's called Brain Hope Reality.
Okay, definitely. Just tell me when.
I would love it. I have my people reach out to. The more people hear about it, the more reality goes around it. You know, even if this speech, I know this is Sunday night, people should be relaxing, chilling, but think about it. This just one speech may save a few lives. Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
I mean, as a clinician, to me, it gives me joy to know that it's possible. And if it is possible, we know we've saved a number of people from suicide, because living in misery of PTSD or PTSI is a shitty way to go.
Indeed. And what we usually say here on the show is, if reach one, teach one with every episode. If we reached one dude or one dudette tonight, we just won. We won right there.
It's worth it. Exactly. I got it. Can I tell you one really quick story? Real quick.
Yes, sir.
So one of the people we treated attempted suicide, survived, thankfully. So what he told us is He said, I just wanted to die for a little bit. It was so miserable. I didn't want to die. I like being alive, but it was so miserable. I wanted to die for a little bit.
Wow.
Think of the misery it takes to want to take your life. So if you can reduce that misery, poof, I think the suicide rate maybe will go from 24 maybe to 0, be amazing. But let's say down to 5. Wow. Crazy thought.
Our minds will be blown. I would love to see you not have to have a job. That'd be great.
I'd love it. Okay, I'm 67. I'm okay to step down. But unfortunately, I want to operate into my 90s. There's so much misery out there. It's not even funny.
Right. So as we end the show, we usually ask 2 things. First thing is how to get in contact with you. I think we've hit that with all your websites and all tonight.
So if you want to do procedures through our clinics, we have, I'm a chief medical officer for Stella Mental Health. So if you go to stellamentalhealth.com, we have 24 sites, which would be great. If you're interested in all the sciencey stuff I talk about, blah, 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 you can go to my website, dr.eugenelipov.com. You can look at all the publications, everything I've been talking about, including sex. Yes, we do talk about sex here occasionally. And the book. And also, please fill out the survey. It's PTSI.com. The life you save could be a loved one. Go ahead. Next. Sorry about that.
That's all right. That's perfect. I'm just making sure I share all these in the comments right now in the chat. So everyone's watching now and everyone watches tomorrow, it'll still pop up in the chat as they talk. And I've shared all that in there throughout the show. It'll also be in the show notes. That way, when they actually open it up on the audio version, or if they go back to YouTube, it'll be there. And our last question we asked Dr. Lipov is, what's 3 things the Misfit Nation can start doing tomorrow to be better people?
For you or you people who listen to you?
The people that listen.
I think number 1, know that mental health is real. It's worth, if you don't have mental health, you got nothing. I mean, physical health is great, but mental health, I talk to people all the time. They go, I wish I'd have a broken arm. It's so much easier to deal with mental health disorder. It's real. It's possible to get better. If you haven't gotten better, try something different. Don't do the army technique. Do the same thing harder. Do not do that. Move on to something else. Yes, if it failed, move on to something else, right? So I think know that it's real. Don't use the term PTSD, use the term PTSI. And don't forget the spouses. They went to war with you, not physically, but mentally. Do not ignore them. If they're in trouble, acknowledge their problems and help them. Help both of you and help the kids. Don't forget the kids.
Definitely. Save the whole family and help everyone that's in your life.
I was one of those kids, right? I mean,
obviously it affected you, but
big time.
You're helping everyone else now.
Well, I mean, I have a great life now. Let me tell you, there are moments that I was thinking I'd much better be dead than alive because it was so freaking painful.
Right.
So, I mean, when people tell me about suicidal ideation and all that, I've been there. So I actually understand that. So the point is, a family unit is called a unit. What happens to one individual happens to everybody. So acknowledge that, give your spouse a great hug and say, hey, we're going to get better. There's hope. We're going to get better. As opposed to quiet desperation is no way to live.
Right. Definitely. And I appreciate everything you shared tonight. And hopefully, like we just talked about, we helped maybe more than one tonight. Maybe we hit everyone that was listening tonight or that listens to this in the future. We hit every one of them and make them go out and ask for this help and ask for something different.
Exactly. It's not just Stellate. Maybe it's other things.
Right.
Ketamine, TMS, there are other things available. Don't stop.
Keep trying till you find the right thing that helps you and make
the
sure
right thing for you. Exactly. The right thing for you. But do your own research. You can review it. Look at my website. There's a lot of publication, but there's a lot written about all of that. But be a good consumer. Don't go home with a package of pills you don't know what it's for, like what you did.
Right. Air police, have a good day.
Exactly. It's like, oh, here you go. Enjoy it. That's great. Do I drink alcohol with that? Maybe. It's like, what?
little stickers on there tell you stuff. I'm not sure what it means though. It's awesome.
Right. You didn't go to med school. You went to infantry school, right? Or military school.
I didn't have doctor in front of my name. That's someone else's job to tell me what these things are and explain to the why behind them. And that's not up to me to understand. It's for you to tell me how to understand it and make sure.
Well, the idea is to make you better, right?
Right.
That's the honor of being a physician. Our job is to explain to the person in the terms that make sense to you. And if they don't, and they're not getting better, change the technique. That's how I was trained in medical school. And that's how everybody should be trained, right? So anyway, we can talk about that forever. But I think hopefully we reached a few people. Maybe we even saved some lives. That'd be amazing. It's an honor to be really part of that.
Dr. Lipov, again, thank you for hanging out tonight on Sunday night. And I'll look out for the email to come on your show. And I'll probably have you back to talk to my other two guys on Tuesday nights as we start season 6 in a couple of months.
That'd be great. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Awesome. Have a great night. Misfit Nation, as we just talked about, if you are feeling down, if you're feeling out, remember tomorrow is 100% better with you in it than it is without you. Ask for help. Find different resources. Do everything you can in your power, in your heart, in your head to stay with us. Call 988. Get the help you need. Find your inner circle. If you're afraid to call them, dial 988. If you don't want to talk to them, talk to us. info@themisfitnation.com. Steven@themisfitnation.com. or Jake@themisfitnation.com. We will listen. We'll keep you on the line until some help can get there, a professional can get there to help you, because we are not that person. But we will make sure you are with us tomorrow, because tomorrow will be great with you. Until next time, be humble, stay hungry, and you keep hustling.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.